Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Random-ish tonight on the Voices channel. I'm Eldridge, I'm your host, and tonight I'm going to talk about something that I don't think we give too much thought about it, but again, like I said, these are random thoughts that pop into my head either in the middle of the night or through the course of the day. So this one was one that challenged me a little bit. I was thinking about it, and as I was going through the whole process of analyzing the meaning and how this takes shape and form, it was really interesting. So tonight we're going to talk about secrets, or the Latin word secretum, secretum, or secretary, however you want to pronounce it. But it is a Latin word. And the cool thing about the word secret is first of all, it's an adjective in one form. It's where it's a situation that's known only by a few, because part of the elements of a secret, or the main element of a secret, is that it's limited in scope as to who is privy to the information. It is a mystery of sorts. So when you start out with secret in the adjective form, it's a situation that's known only by a few. It is a mystery, and it is not to be seen or not to be known or meant to be known by others. So again, the first aspect of a secret is selection. When it takes on the form of a noun, then it becomes something, a thing. So a tangible object at that point. The first is a situation that you don't want someone to know about, such as you skipping school today, or you listening to some music you shouldn't be listening to. That could be a secret. Or maybe you have some place that you're going to go and do something for someone, and you need to only have a select few have that information. So that's a situation. So now we talk about the noun, or something that's meant or kept to be unknown or unseen by others. So I think we pretty much know that could be a noun is anything, a person, it could be a place, it could be a ring, So remember, nouns are person, place, thing. So just thinking about something that is meant to be kept unknown. If you put it in a noun form, then it's going to be a person, place, or an object that you choose to be kept unknown or unseen by others, or only a select few. You make the choice. And Merriam-Webster, she really breaks it down in her book, because she says that when it's in a noun form, it literally is a deposit or a concealment in a hiding place in the mind, if you think about it, because you haven't really let anybody know anything about it in most cases when you're holding on to your secret. That's where we get into the next part. That's the only time that the secret comes out, is when it becomes a verb. Because if it's a situation that's unknown and you don't know what the situation is, then you're in the dark. If it's something, a person, place, or a thing that's kept a secret, you're still in the dark. It's only when the word secret takes on the verb that it starts to become action form, where the secreting of, if you think about pushing something, depositing something into another entity, or and you're putting it in a hiding place. So you think about a dog when he goes out to bury a bone, he literally is secreting into the earth, because he's digging down into the earth in order to conceal or deposit something and then cover it up. And that will only be known to that dog, or to his master, or another dog that might see him out there burying it. Good luck with that one. What are some other types of secrets that we actually run into on a daily basis and we don't even think about it? Think about those secret meetings that sometimes you have at work, where they tell you that this is a meeting and what we're talking about does not need to go outside these walls. Oftentimes the meeting is put on your calendar at the very last minute. You might not even know you're having a meeting, because sometimes I go home, and I used to go home from work like this all the time, and I would look at my calendar, clear out all my email, get up the next morning, know what my schedule is going to be when I go to work, and somebody has secretly added another meeting or an appointment to my calendar. It was unknown to me at the time that they did it. They secreted or deposited some information onto my calendar. And trust and believe, I'm not happy when that happens, especially when they do it, because they're on the East Coast. They'll put it at 12 o'clock. Well, and then you got meetings all the rest of the day. So I guess the people in the Midwest don't get to eat. That's really what the rule of thumb is. If you're in the Midwest, that's a secret, right? Okay, well, other types of secrets, like you got like I said, secret meetings, secret information, not to be shared outside these walls, not to be shared outside this room, not to be shared outside of us, this conversation. You got your secret handshake. I'm sure frat brothers, fraternities had a secret shake. You have all types of clubs where people have secret shakes. I'm sure in different neighborhoods, even in different gangs. You know, I'm sure that there are handshakes there were in the past. I mean, there's different hand movements and hand gestures. Nonverbal communication has always been used to communicate information to a lesser known, a lesser few. Because again, you have to code things in secret. You either are going to have some type of a physical action that you're going to do with parts of your body, and sometimes not doing anything is as powerful as doing a gesture, because that not doing anything when someone gives you a specific order or command or looks at you a certain way or says something to you, that's a secret between you and that person. And the code comes out, and then at that point, you understand how to act. But if I'm not privy to the unknown information that was not meant for me to have, even in a secret situation, I'm not going to know how to react. So that's why a component of the secret is so interesting for me, because now we have it in a book form, and we'll get to that later about why that book is named The Secret. If you think about what I'm talking about right now, it's a thing. It's a book. Okay. It was something that was kept or meant to be kept unknown or unseen by others, and then a select few, somebody like Rhonda Byrne, actually found the book, and now The Secret. A lot of people have The Secret. Whether or not they understand how to execute on and make manifest what's there, that remains to be seen. But again, they have access to that secret now because they know what was known only to a few. Every time somebody picks up that book, then it expands. Where it got me was things like when the word secret turned into a secretary. I was looking in this book that I actually have here at home, everybody. It's word, phrases, and origins. That's how deep I get. I love this stuff. I mean, you could sit here all day and go through different sayings and different word origins, and it'll blow your mind. When I was looking at the word secret, it was really kind of interesting because it started out saying that secret migrated into the word secretary. So the word secretary is out of the origin of secret. And think about this definition when it says that it's an advisor who handled confidential matters in medieval Europe. They were called secretary, and that was spelled S-C-C-R-E-T-A-R-I-I, secretari. Their name itself derived from the Latin word secretum or secretum, which means secret. So by 1400, we find the word being used as secretary, because now these are medieval European advisors, and they have to take on this role of someone who's handling confidential matters in the kingdom in which they live. They say that in this book, the origin and encyclopedia word and phrase origins, the revised and expanded edition by Hendrickson. So you can find this is by Robert Hendrickson. I found mine at half price books for like $8. So you can go there and find all kinds of books. But I was intrigued by the origin of words. So I always like to have information to back up what I'm about to say. And so anytime I get an inkling to start talking about something, I want to make sure I have my facts straight. So if you want to go get this book by Robert Hendrickson, the Encyclopedia Word and Phrase Origins, the revised and expanded edition, The Facts on File by Robert Hendrickson. So go out and get that book if you want to check out some of the origins of popular phrases that you use every day. And you kind of think, I wonder where that came from. All right. So back to this whole thing about secretary in the 1400s. And they're saying Queen Elizabeth I, she was the first time that she used the secretary. She's the first person in any type of scenario to use the word secretary as a synonym for a minister or cabinet member of the government. So you can see the word secret turns into secretum to secretary. And then now you see how it's actually used as is someone who handles private matters. Now think about all the secretaries that we have today and think about what they do, and let your mind go with this. All right. So you have Secretary of State, you have Secretary of Defense, you have Secretary of Ministry. So if you go back to the origin of the word secret and look at it in terms of what it means to be a secretary, these are people that are all handling private, confidential, top secret affairs that relate to our state, the state of the country, the state that you live in, or the state of the union, the state of our defense system, and the state of our ministerial system, or the way that people can administer governmental affairs in this country. Really important to know this stuff. I mean, oftentimes I think we go through life and we accept things exactly as status quo without even questioning why things happen. And Plato says you cannot go through life and not look up. You have to look up. So think about reading and thinking about looking for research to find out why you do the things you do, because to know thyself is to really know and understand others better. If I understand why I do something a certain way in a certain situation in a context, then I'm more likely to be able to navigate when I'm dealing with someone else. And it takes the quadrant of the unknown down to a smaller space. Because remember, a couple of weeks ago, I talked to you about how you have to have stereotypes in life. You need those in order to navigate. So if I know what the stereotypical way that I'm supposed to be in secretary mode, or if I am telling secrets, then I understand the distinction between the two, because I understand that they are distinct in the way that one is enacted, but they also are intertwined in what they mean, because each means that the information that's going to be shared is only meant to be shared with a select few. So again, if you think about your secretaries or them, they are bound and they're privy and regarded as people who are secret holders. So there you go. So let's think about this for a minute. You're telling a secret, you're depositing a mystery onto someone. Let's look at the components of what it is that you do when you go into secret mode. There are a select few, or it's a select situation, or there's a select action that's only going to be known and privy to the people that are involved in that conversation at that time. Because remember, they said that the meeting, the information to be shared, and the words and the talking that were going to be used were only going to be experienced by that few who were invited into that realm to experience whatever it is that we want to secrete or deposit upon them. It can be an adjective. It's going to be an unknown situation, though. It's going to be unknown to people outside of the in-group. It's going to be a noun. It can be something that is meant to be only known to a few. So again, you're thinking about a person, place, or a thing. That's a something, you know. And then finally, the action in and of itself of you being the person secreting the information into the group that is the select in crowd. Now, this is the deep part for me, as I was thinking, why do we keep secrets? What is the purpose? Is it some type of a control that we need to have around our lives, specifically around, if it's a situation? Do we need to have control, ultimate control over all situations? And the way that we do that is to withhold information, because now the information becomes a currency. It's a barter, and you can use it to negotiate to gain access or be excluded from certain things. Because you think about it, if you tell people what you know, it may get you invited in, but if you refuse to tell, it will get you excluded. Powerful stuff, the way that the world works, and things that we don't really think about, and just the secret in and of itself, how powerful it can be if we really understand how we can use it, when we should use it, how you share it, and the components of it. Again, we really do need to step back and know ourselves and understand as humans, why do we do the things that we do? A lot of things are not natural. They're not things that you are just born into. You are nurtured into them based on what you see, starting from familial interactions. What I mean, family interactions. You carry that. Again, we talked about this earlier, and we can talk about identity formulation when you're talking about this, because everything that we do is a part of this same process of understanding how the family impacts you, how you enter into some type of a social system, whether it be church, school, work, that controls you. It tells you when you can tell secrets, what type of secrets you can have, the context in which the secrets can be shared, what type of situations are deemed as secrets versus not being as secrets. And you got institutions controlling that. It starts with your family. You know, somebody's going to tell you a secret at home. Don't tell so-and-so I gave you a piece of candy, because I don't have enough to give to everybody in the room. So you tell that one person, they're not supposed to say anything. That's the whole situation. I'm in a room. There's a whole bunch of people. I want you to have something that I don't want everybody else to know. Okay. The action of being involved in the secret is the giving of that, the actual giving of the object to you and having you conceal that in a place. And we're not sharing that with anyone else. And then if you think about it now, you've actually enacted everything on that. You've been in a situation, you have something, which is the candy, and now it's being concealed because it's just between you and those two people, and that's the action that the person is going to carry out. Again, though, I struggle with understanding why people need to keep secrets only for the sake of, well, with exception to the fact that I know it's a currency that people use it to barter and to gain status. How do you decide with whom you're going to share privileged information? Again, that's based on the building you're in, literally. If I'm at home, I'm probably open to sharing more information than I am when I'm at work. I'm probably not going to stand up and share specific information. I'm going to probably move into a conference room with a select few people and engage in dialogue at that point, and there'll be other people outside wondering, I wonder what they're talking about today. Think about, what secrets do you know about someone else that you've kept for the long time? When I was growing up, my mother and them used to have secrets, and they would say, it's take it to the grave stuff. And I do believe that there are some things that they took with them. I probably know some of the stuff, but I don't want to know, because you want to know why I don't want to know about secrets? Secrets are burdensome. Secrets are always burdensome because you have all this information in you. And human nature is for us, again, to secrete or to deposit. Because, again, when you think about what man lives to do, he lives to communicate. He cannot not communicate. And communication is irreversible. I'm going to say that over and over many times when we have discussions, because I want you to think about when you're talking to people and you're exchanging information with someone, remember what I said about what a secret is when you start talking about it. Really understand how it can vacillate, how it morphs, and how it can move through different shapes, how it can be a situation that you're in and you don't even know you caught up, because now you into knowing something about a certain place and person, place, or thing, and you in an action mode of trying to conceal that information now. So you think about the burden of that. I mean, that stresses me out to have information sometimes at work when you know something, or even in church, or in your family. Think about a surprise party. Somebody may be having a baby or something, and they don't want the gender reveal. People know the identity of their child and don't want to share it, and how do you hold on? And that must be like a burden and burning people up inside. I know they must be ready to implode sometimes with the information. So just thought I'd leave you with that information, and I give you something to think about, because, again, the purpose of this channel is to engage, enlighten, inspire, and uplift. So I hope that as you listen to what we talked about, the secret, that you are somewhat engaged as you listen to this video. If you listen to it tonight, tomorrow, and next week, I hope you engage. Really, really just take some time to listen to the things that I'm saying, because I really do think it's important for us to really dig down and start to understand who we are as people, why we act the way we act. And so that, again, if you really want to be in control of the world, you have to be in control of yourself. Like I said, to know yourself is to know others better, because you are human and we have similar behaviors and similar situations. And again, usually when faced with a secret, we're burdened because you have to keep that secret, and you really don't want to keep it. You itching to tell somebody else, again, because of that first law of communication, but that now you're sitting on the fence and you walk in this razor blade tightrope, because, again, as someone who wants to be trusted, if you were given information with boundaries around who to tell, when to tell, what to tell, and where to tell it, you have to adhere to those constraints, or otherwise you'll be on the exclusionary group. So no matter where the secret comes from, whether it's your secret, our secret, my secret, remember, it's a secret. Well, I'll tell you what. Ask the secretary. They'll tell you. And on that note, people, I'm going to be out. I want to thank you for tuning in tonight to share information with me and to really hear about where secrets come from. I really just want you to think about it. Go back, and the next time that you're holding on to a secret, ask yourself, why am I holding on to it? How did I get involved in this? And how do I let it go? Or should I even let it go? And in the future, should I even engage in taking secret information? Ooh, stop it. Don't let it happen to me, because I don't want that burden. So I'm going to ask you again, I got to tell you that in order for me to be able to bring you on video camera, I need to have 1,000 subscribers. So if you like this video, subscribe to my channel. Go in and comment, share with your friends, explain to them it's just not any channel like any other channel. It's a channel where you really are thinking. I'm like George Wallace. I be thinking all the time. and nothing's off limits. So if there's some topic that you want me to research, something words you want me to look up, really find the information, I'm down for it. I love this stuff. I told you this is where I live and breathe. Again, my name is Eldridge. This was Random-ish, and I'd love to see you here next week at 8 o'clock. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. It will be random-ish. And until that time, I hope you have a great week. Deuces.